So the other day, I went to court through Zoom, and the workers that I had been working with through Outsiders In, through Lifeline, through Council for the Homeless, and Share, that told me that they were advocating for me and didn't know the clients that I had reports on in Vancouver. They actually were telling my attorney that I had schizophrenia. Now, they had come to me as my social workers to advocate for me because I was extremely traumatized after a female on my birthday told me how much they enjoyed watching my rape video. Now, this is after the trauma for being arrested as I was holding up a Polaris flyer saying I am a human trafficking victim and the person I assaulted is documented in my human trafficking case. And I contacted the sheriff for 2 weeks prior to the assault about not feeling safe in my environment because of this individual that is documented in my Polaris human trafficking case. And that was ignored. Now, these workers tell me that they don't know who these people are, these clients are, that I have reports on in my Polaris case. And I've personally seen these individuals talking to these workers. And they all approached me as being my advocate. They lied about knowing these individuals. They allowed these individuals to further traumatize me when I was asking them for help to stop trauma. When I was begging for trauma therapy and anger management, those things were ignored. When I was asking for living, stable environment with the least amount of triggers, so I can lower my trauma levels, that was ignored. When I would contact them and tell them that certain individuals in my environment was making me feel unsafe and uncomfortable, that was ignored. Not only did they ignore these things, but they lied when I would approach them and say that I had reports against certain individuals within the community. And these workers would tell me that they did not even know who these people were after I had seen the workers talking to them. Right at the Marshall Center, underneath the pavilion. And then, under the disguise of being my advocates, as they lied to me, they are telling my attorney that I have schizophrenia. When, in fact, I do not. I do have a lot of emotional issues because I have survived 46 years of trauma. I will never deny that. But a year ago, I had to admit myself into Unity Hospital over in Portland because of an incident that happened at the bar on 5th and Washington, which I have a DOJ report on. When I was released from Unity Hospital, my discharge paper diagnosis was adjustment disorder and PTSD only. only. That was January of 2022 at Unity Hospital in Portland. So these same workers that are now telling my attorneys that I have schizophrenia, I'll take that diagnosis, but then I would like to prosecute each individual that was a part of giving me a new diagnosis, because I did not have that diagnosis a year ago when I checked out of Unity. Now, the really fucked up part is my own defense attorney, Amber, is actually trying to get Judge Sonia to seal these records and to seal these fucking things in my records as to discredit me. Now, the fact that I have a police report in Clark County with an individual watching my rape video, and a comment that this individual made to me on Thanksgiving Day includes Judge Sonia's living location. The fact that Judge Sonia wishes to send me to Western State because she thinks I am a danger to society because I assaulted an individual documented in my human trafficking case, that the police ignored me contacting them about my safety in regards to this individual for 2 weeks. Now, these are some very heavy accusations. So as with my first video, in the comments below, I will include names of the clients in Vancouver that are documented in my Polaris case, that the workers told me that they did not know that I had personally seen them talking to underneath the pavilion at the Marshall Center. And those same workers, as they like to protect their other clients while they traumatize me, tell my attorney that I'm crazy. These are such huge, heavy accusations. And in the comments, I'll give some information as so people can check the things, because I don't expect anybody to believe me. That would be crazy. But I do expect people to check on the things that I include with the videos and act accordingly. I am so pissed off right now. I am so pissed off. I don't have the luxury to respond to my anger or to my trauma right now. Because since I fired all of my workers, I'm going back outside on the 15th. And because the workers that lied to protect their other clients as they traumatized me told my attorney that I was schizophrenic, I now have to prepare for the worst with that. Now, the really fucked up part is I didn't lie about my past. I didn't lie about what happened to me at Boulder. I didn't lie about what happened to me in my marriage. I didn't lie about what happened to me in Hawaii or in Portland. And I've proven these things. So to say that I am crazy says that those things that I survived are not real. And I have the trauma and the documentation to prove it is real. If people cannot understand the trauma that I have survived over the last 46 years, they cannot believe that the things I've said is true, even as I lay down proof and documentation. How are any of those individuals think that they are qualified to tell me how I should function and be when I have survived trauma that they can't even wrap their brain around? My first TBI was when my legal father was married to my mother. The first gun to my head was my biological father in an apartment in Battleground. And the first time I was sold was in Stevenson, Washington. And that was all before I was even in kindergarten. And my whole life has been built on nothing but memories and trauma that severe. What I put in my book is only a 16th of what I have survived. The most easily documented and checked. Only a 16th. On bad days, I function at 60% sanity. On good days, 70. But you don't survive hell and violent trauma for 46 nonstop years and smell like roses and gumdrops. I'm rough around the edges and I am an asshole. But I have a good heart. And what's been allowed to be done and what's been allowed to be ignored so it can continue, that's beyond understanding, especially after what I survived growing up. If I go to a cop and I say people are hurting me, I expect the officer to do their goddamn job. If I go to a judge and say police are not doing right, please help me, I expect the goddamn judge to do their job. If I go to a counselor and say clients are hurting me or my family in the environment is hurting me, I expect those workers to have my safety, my privacy, and my rights at priority. And if they don't, and they ignore it, when I am reaching out to them, who is responsible for the trauma that comes from what they ignore? Now, I was informed by Polaris that they contacted law enforcement here in Clark County June 24th with my human trafficking case. I have an email from Amber that says when she talked to Polaris, they said that they contacted law enforcement twice, 3 times, and it was ignored. So who is responsible? And those same people who ignore it want to discredit me to cover their fuck-ups. And then they don't want me to be mad. They want me to show them respect because of their job positions and their job titles. No. If you're a cop or a judge or a counselor, you actually have a higher responsibility.